A very good morning, dear children. Today we are going to see the next topic of chapter 1, that is gravitation. The topics to be discussed in today's video are low and high tides, Earth's gravitational force, Earth's gravitational acceleration, then value of g on the surface of the Earth, then variation in value of g, and then mass and weight. These topics now we are going to see one by one in detail. Now children, you will be knowing about the high and low tides that occur regularly in the sea. The level of sea water at any given location along seashore increases and decreases twice a day at regular intervals. So there is an increase or decrease of sea water level at regular interval. So these high and low tides occur at regular interval. Means after some time there is a formation of high tide and after some time there is a formation of low tide. High and low tides occur at different times at different places. Means sometimes in one place there is a high tide, then in another place there will be low tide. So there is a formation of high and low tide at different times at different places. The level of water in the sea changes because of the gravitational force exerted by the moon. So in between moon and earth there is a gravitation force, and due to that this gravitational force there is a formation of high tide and low tide. Water directly under the moon gets pulled towards the moon, and due to this the level of water goes up, which gives high tide. So when there is a formation of level of water increases, then there is a formation of high tide. And at two places on the earth at 90 degree from the place of high tide, the level of water is minimum, which forms low tide. So on some place there is a formation of low tide because their level of sea water decreases, and due to that there is a formation of low tide. Now next topic is Earth's gravitational force. The earth attracts every object near it towards itself because of the gravitational force. That we know very well, that earth is attracting every object towards itself. The center of mass of the earth is situated at its center, so the gravitational force on any object due to the earth is always directed towards the center of the earth. And due to this there is a gravitational force, and that gravitational force is attracting any object towards itself, and that gravitational force is coming from center of the earth. Because of this force an object falls vertically downwards on the earth, and due to this earth's gravitational force any object falls vertically downward towards the earth. Similarly, when we throw a stone vertically upwards, so this force means gravitational force tries to pull it down and reduces its velocity. Due to this downward pull, the velocity becomes zero after a while. So there is a formation of this velocity, and this velocity becomes zero after some time. The pull continues to be exerted and the stone starts moving vertically downward towards the center of the earth. So this pull continues to be exerted and the stone starts moving vertically downward towards the center of the earth. Because when we are throwing any stone vertically upward, then what happens? There is a gravitational force, and that gravitational force attracts that stone towards itself, and due to that the velocity of the stone decreases and it comes down towards the earth due to gravitational force. Now next question is use your brain power. According to Newton's law of gravitation, every object attracts every other object. Thus, if the earth attracts an apple towards itself, the apple also attracts the earth towards itself with the same force. Why then does the apple fall towards the earth but the earth does not move towards the apple? So very nice question, children. So when we are telling that apple fall towards the earth due to gravitational force, then why this earth is not falling on the apple, or why this earth is not moving towards the apple? So let us see answer. The earth and the apple move towards each other, but the magnitude and the displacement of the earth is negligible relative to that of the apple. And again, the observer is located on the earth. So where observer is there, that is observing from the earth only. The mass of the earth is greater than that of an apple, and mass of the earth is also greater than that of the apple. Hence the magnitude of the acceleration of the earth is negligible relative to that of the apple. So magnitude and acceleration of the earth is negligible compared to that of apple. So due to these reasons, the apple fall towards the earth, but the earth does not move towards the apple. I hope you all understood this answer. Now second question, children. The gravitational force due to the earth also acts on the moon, because of which it revolves around the earth. Similar situation exists for the artificial satellites orbiting the earth. The moon and the artificial satellites orbit the earth. The earth attracts them towards itself, but unlike the falling apple, they do not fall on the earth. Why? So this is also one of the nice question, children. Because what happens? This apple fallen from the tree, that falls towards the earth. But this moon and artificial satellites, they are orbiting the earth. Then why this moon and artificial satellites not fall towards the earth? So this is because there is a velocity of the moon and the satellites along their orbits. So there is a velocity, and if this velocity was not there, then they would have fallen on the earth. So due to the velocity orbiting towards the earth, due to that velocity only, this moon and artificial satellite not fall towards the earth. I hope it's clear to you. Now next topic is Earth's gravitational acceleration. Last year we have seen, children, what is meant by acceleration. Acceleration means change in velocity upon time. That is called as acceleration. And we were writing formula of acceleration like this, that is small a is equal to v minus u upon t. Means change in velocity, means final velocity minus initial velocity upon time, that is called as acceleration. Now this year we have to see what is meant by Earth's gravitational acceleration. So let us see. The earth exerts gravitational force on objects near it. So we know every object present on the earth, there is a gravitational force, and that gravitational force exerted by the earth. According to Newton's second law of motion, a force acting on a body results in its acceleration. So according to Newton's second law of motion, on every object there is a acting of force, and that result into acceleration. So thus the gravitational force due to the earth on a body result in its acceleration. There is a gravitational force, and that is on the earth, and due to that there is a resulting of acceleration, and this is called as acceleration due to gravity. And such type of acceleration is called as acceleration due to gravity and is denoted by small g. So acceleration due to gravity or gravitational acceleration, one and the same, children, and that is denoted by small g. Now next is acceleration is a vector quantity. Why acceleration is a vector quantity? Because it depends on both magnitude and direction, because velocity is there, so direction is there, and magnitude is there. So it depends on magnitude and direction, so it is a vector quantity. Next topic, as the gravitational force on any object due to the earth is directed toward the center of the earth, the direction of the acceleration due to gravity is also directed towards the center of the earth, that is vertically downward. So on every object there is a gravitational force, and this directed towards the from the center of the towards the center of the earth, and this direction is from the center of the earth also, means from the object also there is a gravitational force towards the center of the earth, and from the center of the earth also towards the object there is a gravitational force, that is vertically downward. Now next, think about it. First question, what would happen if there were no gravity? So if there were no gravity, then there would be no gravitational attraction between any two particles, and hence no formation of the solar system, galaxies, planets, stars and the universe. Because what happens, children? Gravity means what? There is a attraction between object and the earth, that is called as gravity. But if there is no gravity, then there would be no attraction between earth and any object present on the earth, and due to that there is no formation of planets, stars and universe also. Now next is, what would happen if the value of g was twice as large? Means what would happen if the value of gravitational constant, that is universal gravitational constant, is twice large? So if the value of gravitational constant, that is universal gravitational constant, was twice as large, then the gravitational force between any two particles would become double. So if gravitational constant value is double, then obviously that gravitational force also become double, and due to that the value of g, that is value of acceleration due to gravity or gravitational acceleration, would also become double. Now next important topic is value of g on the surface of the earth. So we can calculate the value of g by using Newton's universal law of gravitation for an object of mass m. For an object of mass m at a distance r from the center of the earth. So according to Newton's universal law of gravitation, we can write, children, that is capital F is equal to g into mm upon r square. This is equation number 3, where capital M is the mass of the earth, okay, and then this F, that is capital F is equal to mass into acceleration, means force is equal to mass into acceleration, that we know, children. So we can write in terms of gravitational acceleration this force value, that is force is equal to mass into A. A means what? Acceleration, but here this A means gravitational acceleration. So instead of small a, I am writing here g, that is F is equal to m into g. This is equation number 4. Now from equation number 3 and 4, if left hand side of equation number 3 and 4 both are equal, then we can write mg is equal to gmm upon r square. Means left hand side is equal, then we can write right hand side equal, that is mg is equal to gmm upon r square. But here this left hand side also and right hand side also there is a small m. So we can cut this small m. So what is remaining, children? That is g is equal to, that is gravitational acceleration is equal to g into m upon r square. This is equation number 5. Now if the object is situated on the surface of the earth, then r is equal to r, means this r is the distance between two objects, but here this r is the capital R, that is radius of the earth. So thus the value of g on the surface of the earth is, this value of small g on the surface of the earth is g is equal to gm upon r square. This is equation number 6. Only instead of small r we wrote here children, that is r square. Okay. Now this unit of g in SI unit is meter per second square. Okay. The SI unit of gravitational acceleration is, that is meter per second square. The mass and radius of the earth are 6 into 10 raised to 24 kilogram and 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter respectively. Then using these values or write these values in equation number 6, we will get small g is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 into 6 into 10 raised to 24 upon 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 bracket square, because in equation number 6 you can see children there is a capital R square. So we have to write here to denominator also bracket square. And after solving this, we will get the value of gravitational acceleration, that is small g is equal to 9.77 meter per second square. This is equation number 7. This question can be asked in the exam like this children. Calculate the value of g on the surface of the earth. Then that time you have to show full calculation. Okay. I hope children this question is clear to you. Now can you tell what would be the value of g on the surface of the earth if its mass was twice as large and its radius is half of what is now? So this value of g, that is value of Earth's gravitational acceleration, we can calculate with the help of Earth's gravitational formula, that is g is equal to gm upon r square. So this value we have to write in terms of g1 and g2, because we have to change their mass and radius. So g1 is equal to gm1 upon r1 square and g2 is equal to gm2 upon r2 square. So here m2 is given, that is 2m1, because mass changes double, and r2 is r1 upon 2, radius becomes half. So this is equation number 1. So by knowing this, we have to compare both the g1 and g2 values. So therefore g2 upon g1 is equal to m2 upon m1 into bracket r1 upon r2 bracket square. Okay. So from equation 1 we can put the values of m2 and put the values of r2. So instead of m2 what we will write? 2m1 upon m1, m1 as it is, and in second bracket r1 upon 2 bracket square. So we have to solve this. This m1 and m1 will get cancelled with numerator and denominator, and then with r1 and r1 this both will cancelled with numerator and denominator. So in first bracket what is remaining children? That is 2, and in second bracket that is 2 bracket square. So we can write 2 into 2, that is 2 square is 4 into 2, that will become 8. So g2 upon g1 will become 8. So therefore g2 is equal to 8 g1. So we can say that the value of g on the surface of the earth would be 8 times the present value. I hope you understood this question. Next topic is variation in value of g, that is change in the value of gravitational acceleration. So first is change along the surface of the earth. So this value of g, that is gravitational acceleration, changes along the surface of the earth. So the value of g is not same everywhere. This value of gravitational acceleration is not same everywhere, because the shape of the earth is not exactly spherical. Because what happens, the shape of the earth is not exactly spherical, and so the distance of a point on the surface of the earth from its center differs from place to place. So whatever distance is there from a point from the center of the earth, this distance differs from everywhere, and due to that this value of g, that is value of gravitational acceleration, is not same everywhere. Now due to rotation, that is due to the rotation of earth, this earth pulls at the equator and it is flatter at the poles. Okay, so its radius is largest at the equator and smallest at the poles. So radius of the earth is largest at the equator and it is smallest at the poles. So the value of g is highest at the poles. So this value of g, that is gravitational acceleration, is highest at the poles, that is 9.832 meter per second square, and it decreases slowly with decreasing latitude. And this value is decreasing slowly with decreasing latitude means what? This is the latitude means what? Measurement of the distance from the north equator or from the south equator. So this value decreases with decreasing latitude. Now this value of g is lowest, that is 9.78 meter per second square at the equator. I hope children you all have understood. Now v part, that is change with height, means there is a variation in value of gravitational acceleration with height. So as we go above the earth's surface, the value of r in equation g is equal to gm upon r square increases and the value of g decreases. So when we are going above the earth's surface, the value of r in equation, that is gravitational acceleration, is equal to gm upon r square. The value of r increases, then obviously the value of g decreases. Means if the value of r is 4, then this value of g will become half of it, that is 2 only. However, the decrease is rather small for heights which are small in comparison to the earth's radius. This decrease in height will be small. When this height from the earth's surface is small, then this decrease is also very small. For example, suppose the radius of the earth is 6400 meter, and if an aeroplane is flying at a height 10 kilometer above the surface of the earth, so its distance from the earth's surface changes from 6400 kilometer to 6410 kilometer. So the change in the value of g due to it is negligible, because first of all earth's surface and that aeroplane height is, there is a difference of only 10 kilometer. So this is negligible value, and suppose this distance is only 10 kilometer, then how much there will be decrease in g, because that is inversely proportional. If it is only 10, then obviously that value of g, whatever change is there, that is very small. But on the other hand, when we consider an artificial satellite orbiting the earth, suppose any artificial satellite is orbiting the earth and we have to take into account the change in the value of g, then what happens? That artificial satellite is very far from the surface of the earth, and due to that this change in the value of g from the center of the earth will be more as compared to the change in the height from the aeroplane. I hope children it is clear to you. Now let us see the change in value of g with height above the earth's surface. So on the surface of the earth, when height is 0, then that time g value will be 9.8. On the Mount Everest, height is 8.8 kilometer, then g value will be 9.8. So maximum height reached by man-made balloon. So if height is 36.6 from the surface of the earth, then its g value will be 9.77 meter per second square. Now height of a typical weather satellite is 400 kilometer. Then its g value is 8.7 meter per second square. Height of communication satellite is 35,700 kilometer. Then its G value will be 0.225 meter per second square. I hope children you understood. So on the surface of the earth this G value is 9.8, but when we are going away from the earth then its G value decreases. Now third, that is C, change with depth. The value of G also changes if we go inside the earth. So value of acceleration due to gravity or gravitational acceleration changes when we are going inside the earth. So the value of R in equation G is equal to Gm upon R square decreases, and one would think that the value of G should increase as per formula. So this R value decreases and it will decrease according to the formula. However, the part of the earth which contributes towards the gravitational force felt by the object also decreases. So the part of the earth which is contributing gravitational force, so that gravitational force value will also decrease when we are going inside the earth. Which shows that the value of m, that is capital M, mass, to be used in equation G is equal to Gm upon R square also decreases. So obviously see this m value, that is mass value, will also decrease as we go inside the earth. So as a result, change in value of R and M is change in value of radius and mass. There is a change in value of this G, that is change in value of gravitational acceleration when we are going inside the earth. I hope children it is clear to you. Now next, think about it. Will the direction of the gravitational force changes as we go inside the earth? No, the direction of the gravitational force will not change as we go inside the earth. As we are going inside the earth, then also there is no change in the direction of gravitational force. Now next question, what will be the value of G at the center of the earth? Means what will be the value of gravitational acceleration at the center of the earth? The value of G at the center of the earth is 0. Okay. Now next, every planet and satellite has different mass and radius. Hence, according to equation G is equal to Gm upon R square, the values of G on their surfaces are different. Okay. So every planet and satellite have different mass and radius, and due to that there is a change in value of gravitational acceleration also, because according to gravitational acceleration formula G is equal to, that is gravitational acceleration is equal to Gm upon R square. There is a change in mass also and radius also, and due to that planet and satellite has different values for gravitational acceleration also. Now next is, on the moon it is about 1/6 of the value on the earth. So on moon this value will be 1/6 of the value on the earth. Means what happens children, on the earth suppose that value is how much, that is suppose 90 kg, then obviously on the earth it will be 15 kg. So on the moon it will be 15 kg. Why? Because this moon value is 1/6 of the value on the earth. Okay. Now as a result, using the same amount of force, we can jump 6 times higher on the moon as compared to that on the earth. And due to that same force, with the help of same force, we can jump 6 times higher on the moon. Why? Because on moon our weight will become less, and due to that we can jump more as compared to on the earth. Okay, I hope children this is clear to you. Now next important topic, that is mass and weight. Mass is the amount of matter present in the object. How much amount of matter present in any object, that is called as mass. So the SI unit of mass is kilogram. Mass is a scalar quantity because mass has only magnitude, or mass contains only magnitude. It does not have direction. So mass is a scalar quantity and its value is same everywhere. So mass value is same everywhere. Its value does not change even when we go to another planet, and mass value is constant on any planet. According to Newton's first law, it is the measure of inertia of an object. Higher the mass, higher is the inertia. So mass is the measure of the inertia of an object. So higher is the mass, higher will be the inertia. So what is meant by inertia? That we studied last year only. Okay, for that we have seen that card and coin experiment, children. So in that there is a inertia. Okay, so when mass is more, then inertia is also more. So when we are measuring our weight, so what we are measuring, children? We are measuring our mass because amount of matter present in the object, that is called as a mass. I hope it is clear to you. Next topic is weight. The weight of an object is defined as the force with which the earth attracts the object. The force with which the earth is attracting the object, that is called as weight. So weight is nothing but the force of the object. The force capital F on an object of mass m on the surface of the earth can be written using equation F is equal to mg. This force is equal to mass into acceleration. So F is equal to m into g. But we know weight is equal to force. So W is equal to F. So therefore W is equal to mg, where g is equal to what? Gm upon r square. G means gravitational acceleration and it is equal to Gm upon r square. So weight is being a force, so SI unit of weight is also Newton, because force unit is Newton, so weight unit is also Newton. Weight is a vector quantity and its direction is towards the center of the earth. So weight is a vector quantity because force is a vector quantity and force contains both magnitude and direction. So weight also contains magnitude and direction, so it is a vector quantity. As the value of g is not same everywhere, the weight of an object changes from place to place, though its mass is constant everywhere. So weight value is not same everywhere because weight is what? Mass into gravitation, that is g, gravity. Okay, so this g value, gravitational acceleration value, is not same everywhere, so this weight value is not constant. Okay children, I hope it is clear to you. Ordinarily, we use weight for both mass and weight and measure the weight in kilograms, which is the unit of mass. For example, when we say the Rajiv's weight is 75 kilogram, so we are taking here Rajiv's mass. Okay, as Rajiv's mass is 75 kilogram, then his weight on earth will be, that is F is equal to m into g, that is 75 into 9.8, that is 735 Newton. So Rajiv's weight on the earth will be 735 Newton and his mass will be 75 kilogram. Now the weight of 1 kilogram mass is 1 into 9.8, that is 9.8 Newton. So the weighing machine tells us the mass. So whenever we are measuring our weight on the weighing machine, then we are measuring actually our mass. The two scale balances in shop compare two weights, that is two masses. So when we are comparing on the balance any two weight, so we are comparing their masses, not weight. I hope children you understood what is the difference between mass and weight. Now next question, use your brain power. Will your weight remain constant as you go above the surface of the earth? No. As we go above the surface of the earth, our weight will go on decreasing. So when we are going above the surface of the earth, that time our weight will decrease. Now second question. Suppose you are standing on a tall ladder. If your distance from the center of the earth is 2r, then what will be your weight? So for this we have to consider the formula, that is weight is equal to, that is W is equal to, here instead of force we are writing W. So W is equal to G into mm upon r square. But here that distance is given, that is small r is equal to 2r. So therefore W is equal to Gmm upon 2r bracket square. So is equal to Gmm upon 4r square. So we will remove this 1 upon 4. So 1 upon 4 into bracket Gmm upon r square. But here this Gmm upon r square is the weight on the surface of the earth. So therefore W is equal to weight on the surface of the earth upon 4. So weight will be, that is weight of the surface of the earth upon 4, means it will decrease. Okay children, I hope it is clear to you. Now today's homework children, differentiate between mass and weight, and second question, calculate the value of G on the surface of the earth. So these two question answers you have to write in the classwork. Thank you children for watching the video and for your attention.